Somebody sing, hello, hello, hello. Somebody, somebody cries, why? Somebody sing, hello, hello, hello. Somebody cries, why? Somebody.
Welcome again to our recording where we are dealing with the ancient Egyptian language and ancient Egyptian way of, in these days of restoration, in which we are going to restore everything that was stolen or everything that was robbed and removed from our consciousness. I want to deal with the two terms because these are terms that have been used. I might be able to venture into other terms and add a few other things there, but specifically I want to deal with the term which is popular within Egyptologists, especially of African descent everywhere on earth. These are the following. These are the name Hotep and also Horus or Heru. I want to tell you and to say, quite honest, I am sorry to say we are wrong in giving these two entities these names. These are not their names. That's a very wrong way of understanding when we say Hotep and when we say Heru or Horus or any or Osiris or Isis or Set or everything. I want to start with Set. The term Set is shatter. That's the word shatter. That's its name, and that's correct with the context of how Set comes out in history. Akashata, shatter is evil, and it is quite clear that when we say this, and when I come up and say prominent scholars, most of whom have joined our ancestors, who have studied Egyptology, who have come up with books, who have wakened us up, aroused in us the entities of our ancestors, and given us the right and power to go forth and to rise up in knowledge and wisdom, they may have missed the body here, because they followed a system of language that was developed by Champollion with a English, with a European perspective and with a European slant. And now I am restoring these two words, or prominently these two words, back to their original meaning. So I start with the word Hotep. Hotep is used in greeting. It is used as a titular name to arouse your spirit and your blood. But I want to tell you something. If you look at the iconography of ancient Egypt, if you look at the alphabet of ancient Egypt, if you look at the hieroglyphics, if you look at the things that ancient Egyptians have given us, it is nature connected. There is nothing that stands solely alone. When you look at the Sphinx, it is a combination of a lion with a Africoid head. When you look at all the kings that ruled, who are now called pharaohs, we look at all of them. They were wearing regalia with a snake. They had all this associated, all this nature and natural issues associated with them. And the question is why? Why is it like that? How come the ancient Egyptian royalty, the ancient Egyptian people and philosophers, even wisdom, wise gods like Tot or Jehuti or Jgahuti, is always shown with a bird's head and a long beak, holding a pen and papyrus, writing stuff like that? It is because there is something that is called totems. This is the problem. Our African brothers who were taken across the Atlantic and scattered all over, they were told to throw away their names. In doing so, they threw away their history. They threw away literally their blood and acquired new blood. That's why many of them have new names. Dr. Henry Clark, that's a European name. That's not his original name. So many of these scholars, brilliant and fantastic, they still carried European names. And unfortunately, they lost their totems. Because they lost their totems, it does not mean that they are not Africans, but it means that they are challenged to come back to accept their way of life, their ancient way of life is harder than those in Africa. My totem myself is the river Nile. I am a Siziba. I am a Mlambo. My totem is river, and also the fish whom you call Horus, whom we call Hore. That's my totem. There are many other people if you go to Africa, many people with their totems. And if you look at these totems and trace these totems, you come back, you will find them represented in ancient Egypt, in ancient Kemui, somewhere. So when we say Hotep, the word Hotep, HTP, which has been given us as Hotep, it's not Hotep, it's a Hutupo. It is calling a totem. When we greet each other as black people, as Africans, when you call me and say, oh, how Siziba Hunjan, you are calling not me alone, you are calling all my ancestry comes up. When we say, oh, Swane, a person whose totem is lion, and we say, oh, Swane, Svanda, Makadiko Svanda, we are not only calling that person, we are also calling everything that is connected to him. So when we meet in Africa and in ancient Africa, we would not say Hotep. No. We say Hotep is like Hutupo. No. We would actually utter that totem and speak that totem which we know of that person. I'll give a simple example. There are people that would never know their totems, but they can easily find their totems by going to oracles and doing it's very simple research, and the totem would come up. So when we say Hotep, we are not really doing it in a spiritual way. I'm sorry I have to say this. It's quite hard, it's quite difficult, but that's wrong. The word Hotep is like totem. You can't say Mtupo. You have to utter the totem and give that person their actual totem, specific totem, actual totem. I'm married to a person, a woman whose totem is lion. So when I speak to her, I say, Shumba Nechinanga. It means the lion that was able to battle and to fight with and move out of a thorn trees and battle out and win wars. And when I say that, Shumba Nechinanga, I'm calling even her maternal side, and I'm calling even paternal side, and all the spirits that now dwell within her blood are aroused and they are stirred up because I've called what connects them to nature. Now I want to go to the term the river Nile, named by the Romans Nile or Nilus. We are told that it's happy. That's again wrong. It's nothing. There's nothing like that. The true name for the river Nile, I'm giving it today. Perhaps you are hearing for the first time. It's Haapwi. Haapwi. Haapwi, meaning he never dries up. He is always flowing. He is full of life. He is life. He is rich. He is enriching. That's always floating, always full, always flowing, full of life. Water is life, full of the rich sand. Haapwi is always rich with flowing wealth. That's its name. Never runs dry. Not happy. Happy actually means does not give. If you say happy, it means is stingy, does not give. So don't call the river Nile happy. That's wrong. Don't even call it happy. That's wrong. Find its contextual meaning that I've given it. Happy never runs dry, always full. I want to lastly speak of one of my greatest ancestors who has been misnamed Horus by the Greeks, and most of our scholars call him Heru. There's nothing like that. His actual name is Horo. If you look at the bird that represents it, the fish, we call it Hore, because it flies and goes high up into the clouds. And when it comes down to pick the fish from my totem from the river, because I'm also fish, I'm a Romane, to pick up that and to see and it's powerful vision. The name Hore is correct, straightforward. It does not hide it. So when you say Horus, Heru, that's all wrong. That is completely wrong, utterly wrong. You are following a culture, a teaching that is wrong. So today I have shown you that these three words have their proper context. The first is Hotep. It's not Hotep. Don't say Hotep. Find the totem and shout and speak that totem. The other one is a river Nile. It's not happy. It's not Nile. It's happy. And lastly is Horus. It's not Horus. It's Hore. I'm going to come up with more ways that we use in ancient Egypt. we are using today and think that they came from ancient Egypt. And I'm going to show you, and it's up to you to challenge me. It's up to me to correct me. Thank you very much.